What's up, Starcraft fans? Today we're doing the tier list for By Fire, Be Purged. Brian, let's hear the mutation.
Oblivion Express is the map where we have to destroy trains. They come in from the west, mainly along 2 tracks, and we have to destroy 9 of them to win the game. If we miss more than 1 train on brutal difficulty, we lose the game. Random nukes and lava bursts erupt from the ground. Enemies also set fire to the ground upon death.
So just lots of fire. We have Twotuuu and Herman in the call with us today. How are you guys?
Great.
Alright. It's a cat shelter in the tier list again. Welcome back, Herman. How are we gonna rank the commanders this week?
Oh, so there are 3 like fire mutators, which I can just consider them as like 3 environmental mutators. So
Yes.
commanders that can shoot from the high ground in your main base, just like have long range and high DPS would be in high tier. And the nukes on this map is a little bit weird. It can reach some of your workers or like your refinery. You know, it might be damaged. So you gotta watch that out. And don't forget, if AI is Terran, you need to defend the ghost. Yeah, that's it.
The spooky boys. How about you, Twotuuu?
Nothing much to add. It's just if you can, I think air units work better here because they can escape nukes. They can fly in any direction, whereas like ground units are limited to like a certain direction along the track.
Or Earth Splitters.
Yeah, Earth
Yeah.
Split.
Anything that can hit from far away.
Let's
Yeah,
begin.
and the air unit won't be affected by Scorched Earth. Yeah.
Let's begin.
That's another thing.
Abathur, where do we have him?
So Abathur, unfortunately, because of going nuclear, it's just like farming is not impossible, but extremely annoying because if you have bad luck, you're gonna get nuked. If you don't farm, you're not gonna get a first brutalist by the first train, which means you're not gonna help out very much. Later on, you probably want just 1 brutalist to hold the early game, then 3 leviathans, and then all mutalists or guardians. I would say mutalists are fine. The lava burst also means that if you aren't careful, leviathans will die, and your brutalist might die in the fire as well. You also can't really place toxic nests along the track because they'll get
Burned.
They'll get nuked.
barbecued.
If they aren't used, well, after a while they're just gonna be gone because of the nukes. So I'm gonna put Abathur in C.
Ooh, that's actually lower than what I had him. Herman, what do you have him?
Abathur. Well, he is just like, I mean, environmental mutators are like his weakness. You know, like just like Twotuuu said, going nuclear, you can't really farm the biomass, and even the Scorched Earth will affect your nests. Because you know things will die on your nest, and when your nest revive, it will just be burned. Yeah, and usually if we don't have enough biomass in early game, we will just build spine crawlers. But spine, I think the range of spine is really low. It's like 7. So if you don't place them like along the track, you probably cannot hit the train. But there is going nuclear, so if you put them beside the track, you will be nuked. So which is quite embarrassing. I would still suggest using mutalisks because mutalisks are not armor units. So if they get like lava burst for like 3 seconds, it probably won't die. But if you are using like guardians, you know they are armor units, so they will be really fragile against lava burst. And Mutalisks moves really fast, so it should not be nuked if you look them well. I put Abathur in C as well.
Ooh, alright. I had him in B, but both of you guys had him in C, so let's have Abathur in C. With the 3rd prestige, it's even lower, right? If you have the limitless, it's even lower.
Yeah, I mean
definitely,
that's
yes.
usually not in consideration.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, Alarak, where do you have him?
So Alarak, you have high DPS, and you have what's that called? You have Wrath Walkers, which has really long range. It's like 11 range, and you have Havoc, so it's like 13. You can just shoot enemy like on the high ground, or you can also use P3 to build Void Rays. But Void Rays against lava bursts is kind of annoying because you know Void Rays are armor unit, and it just like if you don't watch your army, you probably just lose like 5 void like destroyers. I mean, yeah. So here I would still suggest P2 Wrath Walker. If you
Wait.
want to use P1, it's also
You Tyrant Ascendant? You think
P2 Wrath Walker is also
Interesting.
working.
I don't
Yes.
actually use that prestige that often. Is that prestige so that you get a stronger Empower Me for the attack waves?
Yeah. You have you have Empower Me for every train.
Oh, that's cool. All right.
Yeah, because it's like 2 minute cooldown, right? A
Anyway.
2 minute cooldown. Every train is like 3 minutes.
Anyway.
After 3 minutes, there is.
Letter.
I put him in. Wait a minute. I put him in B tier. B tier.
All right. How about you, Twotuuu?
I think he has high enough DPS. He's really strong. I used Ascendants, but I don't think you have to. Like Ascendants, you can mind blast trains, and I use them because I want to practice them, not because
not because they're better.
I think they're better. I think either one's fine. Ascendants, Wrathwalkers, or both.
Yes.
They're all fine.
Yeah.
And you can do a lot of your damage from the high ground. You can place a pylon on the high ground and shoot the train.
Yeah.
Overcharge. So I put Alarak in A.
I also have Alarak in A. What do you think, Herman?
Okay, let's move to BA. Yeah.
All right. It's unanimous in the end. Alarak A. Any prestige or no prestige, still A. Arcturus double S. We just move on, right?
Yes.
Yeah, nothing
All
really
right.
to say there.
Let's just put him in S for now, then move to double S later. Artanis. Where do we have him?
So for Artanis, you probably want to use Tempest here. P3 Tempest. So you have big archons for like early attack waves, and you just use your solar bombardment for the first train. Anyway, just like get enough Tempest and manage your top bar well. It should be fine. And because Tempest have long range, it's like 10, so you can just shoot them on the high ground. You won't be affected by the mutators like nukes or lava bursts, and they're air units, so they won't be affected by Scorched Earth.
True.
I think Artanis is like B tier because he like Tempest DPS is not that great. It shoots really slow, so that's why I put him in B but not A.
How about you, Twotuuu?
Also B.
Also B.
With the mineral dump, you can make cannons against so the hybrid has something else to hit.
Makes
and then when
sense.
attack waves come, you just summon a bunch of zealots, shield overcharge, and then the zealots they'll soak up tons of damage. If they die, they die. Who cares? They're
If
just
they die.
mineral dumps anyways.
Yeah.
And then they spin and kill everything while Tempests like pick off whatever's left.
Cool.
So B is fine.
It's a unanimous B. There we go. Artanis B. Dehaka. Where do we have him?
Dehaka, Dehaka, pack leaders super strong. They get nuked, they don't really die. One pack leader kills all the escorts of entire train or attack wave, it doesn't last that long. And Mutalisks, they have extra life, so they're really fast already, and if like some of them couldn't avoid the nuke, they'll still like have their second life, so you just have Mutalisks. You can put some Impalers on the high ground to deal extra damage to the trains as well, although if they're at the edge, they might get nuked. But Impalers have pretty long range, right? So
love it.
Yeah, it's pretty long, so you can put them like not directly at the edge, just like close-ish. I put Dehaka in S.
Yeah. How about you, Herman?
Unanimous S.
Unanimous
just watch
S.
out your pack leaders. The lava burst is kind of annoying for pack leaders. It's especially for Glivet, because Glivet cannot move.
True.
Yeah.
You can just retreat back to the base though, but point taken. Phoenix. Where do we have him?
For Fenix, you just do the usual, but there's a problem for Fenix is that usually we will use like our small unit, like just normal unit, to hit the train, like just like put them along the track to hit the train. But there are like nukes and lava bursts, so your normal unit probably cannot really go out. So you only have like your 6 champions and your Fenix out. I'm not sure if the DPS is enough if we use P2 here, but I still recommend using P2 because you don't care if you lose your champions because you just have more champions. Yeah.
Letter.
I put Phoenix in B tier.
Ooh. How about you, Twotuuu?
So if it weren't for like possible air units, he would be S, but I put him in A because there is enough DPS even without. And if you're concerned about that, like you could bring a few zealots and just have them hit. If they die, then
still kind of cheap to
Caudalis
replace
gets stronger.
Then your Caudalis becomes stronger because
a little bit. So the enemies are not stronger in any way. So like even if the enemy is an air comp, you're not gonna like have to fight Avenger air units or anything like that. So I don't think it's a big deal. So that's why I think it's fine. A. I put him in A.
Yeah. What do you think, Herman?
Well, yeah, because like like Twotuuu said, there is not any mutator that strengthens the train itself or the enemy. So yeah, it should be enough. I think A tier is fine. Yeah.
All right. I actually also had him in A. So unanimous A. There we go. Han and Horner, where do we have them?
Han and Horner. So this one, I think I did this a long time ago. I don't remember what I used. I think I used P1 and I just had Reapers.
Ooh, that's spicy.
I think I just like it's just Reapers and running back and forth and they jump over. They can like go pretty quickly. Or either way, like P2 battle cruisers, P1 regular stuff. I don't think it's that different. And you can weaken all the enemy units with call downs. You can hit them before they even get close. So you weaken most of them, and then Reapers are ground units, but since they can jump up the cliff if a nuke comes, they're almost the same as air units. And then you have like a few Ravens deal tons of extra damage. I put them in B.
Ooh,
just
okay.
They're like pretty good.
How about you, Herman?
Well, I think I have nothing to add. Yeah, just you can choose Reapers, or you can also use Battle Cruisers, or Wraith is really good against Terran because they can't see you. Yeah, I think there's no difference at all. So B tier is fine for Han Horner.
All right, so both of you had him in B. Let's move on.
Yes.
Karax, where do we have him?
So Karax, well, you just like put monoliths on the high ground and use your solar lens to burn the train, and I don't think there's any difference at all. Yeah, you just do the usual when you play
pretty much.
Oblivion Express. So I think he can be easy S tier, but not double S though. Yeah.
All right, how about you, Twotuuu?
I use P2 carriers because I think like being able to chase the train is important, since like normally if you're playing normal Oblivion Express without going nuclear, you can like use the high grounds slightly above the left base or like to the southwest. You can put some buildings there too to help with DPS, but with going nuclear, you can't put anything there. I guess with P1 you have machine guns.
Yes.
With
P1
monoliths.
Machine
That's
monoliths.
Really good.
Yes.
But I think like putting the monoliths close to the edge, they might get nuked. Of course, you can easily replace them. Like you can replace
if you're
them
using
instantly.
P1, you have the
Unity barrier.
Unity barrier, which is like 60-second cooldown.
Oh yeah.
If it's P1.
And speaking from experience, at around 13 to 15 minutes in, the edge is already full of static defense, and you're floating like thousands of minerals. It's easier to replace them once you have them set up. So I agree with Herman here on S. But what do you think?
But maybe P1 is better. Yeah, P1 should be better here.
Yeah, I
Maybe
agree.
not
The Architect of War, I think, is the best choice here.
Yeah.
But what do you think, Twotuuu?
I don't know, like, if the train goes past, then I guess you have to use your top bar. But like, I guess with the solar lance with fire, that can chase trains pretty well.
You just don't forget to put observers like on top of your monolith so that you have enough.
I would actually say that you snipe the escorts before they even reach the monolith shooting range, so that the monoliths just focus down the trains themselves without having to worry about the escorts. I think with overcharge, the only real concerns are the double trains. If you use the chrono boost while the trains are in the right position, they'll go down.
Oh, everything dies once you press that top bar.
Yeah.
Everything's dead.
I don't think it's much of a problem. I think it's still S. But what do you think, Twotuuu? If it's not unanimous, it's not S.
I didn't think of it, but I don't think it's like unreasonable. I don't think it's unreasonable. So I can agree with S.
All right, cool. Any other prestige would still be S or would be down to A? If we use the second prestige like Twotuuu did, what do you think, Twotuuu, if we used carriers?
Carriers are fine.
Carriers are fine.
You have 2 life zealots.
3 lives even.
Would be, like, you need observers. You need to like make you need to make a robo for observers because you don't have cannons.
Oh yeah.
But that's about it.
So still S if you use the second prestige.
I won't say it's not as good because the if your interceptors get nuked, they take a while to remake.
True. That's the thing with carriers. So still S but lower S or A.
I would say it's A.
All right. So if you use the first prestige, the Architect of War, it's S. If you use other ones, it's A. So there we go. Kerrigan, where do we have him?
Kerrigan. Kerrigan. So she's against ground. I mean, against any comp that like has lots of anti-air, it might be a little worse. Like, but then you probably kill all of them with Kerrigan herself. I use P2 and then just zap all the enemies, and then Mutalisk and Brute Lords will finish off the train. And like a few links for the armor shred. And if they die, they die.
If they die, they die. Just replace them.
Yeah, I put her in B.
What do you think, Herman?
Yeah, it's just about AI compositions. If they don't shoot up, or even if they shoot up but they don't have a lot of splash damage, yes. If they don't have a lot of splash damage, it won't affect your Mutalisk at all. P2 or P3 also works. So you can use P3. P3 is really good against air because air unit they will just like clump to a point, and then you use your W ability. I don't know what's that called at the
Crushing grip.
point. And then you just grip all the enemies, and you just keep grip the enemies there and use your Mutalisk to kill all of them. Yeah. But it's just about AI competition and your micro. Yeah, that's it for Kerrigan.
So letter.
I think it should be B tier.
All right. I actually have.
There's a skill. You can use is to fly your overlord along the edge of the high ground, which you won't get nuked, but you can like soak some. Like you can just bait some abilities. Like you can bait Scourge, and you can also bait a Viper. So you can just bait a lot of abilities.
I would just use immobilization wave to be honest, but that'll work too. For all the same reasons as Herman said, I would actually put Kerrigan in A, but since both of you said B, let's have her in B. Nova, where do we have him?
Well, you just like do the same thing. Instead, you probably want to put your liberators on the high ground.
Yes.
So that it's not easy to get nuked.
Yes.
Even if there is a nuke on your head or on your ally head, you can just pick them up.
Yeah. I would just watch them.
Yeah, I think you just do the same and watch out battle cruisers. That's the. Ooh. Yeah, just watch out battle cruisers. Yeah.
You get the sort of.
You want to use.
You get a sort of skill move where you wait for him to use Yamato, and when they actually release the Yamato, you pick up your liberators, so the Yamatos would miss.
Actually, you don't need that many skills. You can just put down a Raven turrets. Yeah,
that'll work too. All right.
Yeah. So I think Nova should be S tier.
How about you, Twotuuu?
I put Nova in A, not S, just because one mistake and you're set back very far.
Okay, that's actually a good point. I've removed points for Nova from that before. I don't think it's as critical this week because you will actually just watch your army the whole time. That's actually what I do as Nova. I just watch my army the whole time because once your infrastructure is set up, if you have the first prestige, if you have Soldier of Fortune, once you have your armory set up, you never need to look back at your base again. So I think that the Liberators are less of a concern. I understand that concern, but I still think that Nova's S. But Herman, do you have anything else that might convince you to that Nova's S?
So you just put your Liberators and Ravens in the safe zone that you know. So about just about the high ground, and then you use Nova herself to go out, and then you use Griffin airstrike or nukes. And if Nova die, it's fine.
Revive her.
Yeah, it's like
anyway. Oh no. Anyway.
Just put your Liberator in the safe zone. Your Liberator has like 13 range. Yeah, 13 range. So it's just like Karax Monolith or Alarak Wrathwalkers. Yeah.
All right.
And it's a flying unit. It's an air unit, so it can move. Yeah. It's not a static defense.
All right. So both points have been heard. Nova has a lot of ways to mitigate losing your entire army to a single nuke, and Twotuu's point is that even if you take all those precautions and if you do them well 99% of the time, the 1% that you aren't looking and something's targeting might just completely turn things sideways if you don't pay attention in time. So what do you think, Twotuuu? Are you convinced about S or still A?
I don't think so the Nova possibility of losing armies, really, that could be any week. So this one, because it's of the nukes, before it was because of the nukes from the hybrid.
Yeah, mutual for destruction.
So yeah, I don't see how that's different. But this one, I also think if you're fighting air and you aren't good with switching modes or using Raven turret, the Raven secret missiles on different targets while sieging liberators, if you can manage that, yeah, it's fine. But if you can't, then sometimes sometimes it's like it's gonna
I would
if you
just use-
get messed up, if you like get confused, like, oh, which mode should I be in or something.
I would
then-
just use airstrikes and secret missiles.
Yeah,
on those.
just airstrike it, and they probably snipe the battle cruisers because only battle cruisers will live after your critical airstrike.
What do you think? If again,
I also think Nova requires more work.
all right. So it's not. It's a
She
no
doesn't
go.
have. I mean, she doesn't have like a lot of macro. You just put down your infrastructures and then you just producing liberator and build.
Okay. Are you convinced to or yes or no?
No.
All right.
No.
So it's not unanimous.
Because yeah,
Therefore, it's
because
not S.
the Karax is set and forget. The Hakas, you just run. You just like a move run.
So
your army.
how about this?
You
Like
don't have to switch modes or
like
anything.
because of like there's no mutators that strengthen the train, so you can only use like 6 liberators to fight to deal with the train. And if you lose that 6 liberators, you have backup. Is that fine? You're worrying about losing.
So you keep them as
like,
charges.
Like you just keep the charges, and if you lose your army, you just summon like 3 pairs of liberators.
What do you think? To
And
do?
no one plans to lose the army.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like if you are really afraid of.
I
losing
think what he's saying is he's preparing as a contingency, not planning to lose the army, just having them as contingency. But again, if you're not convinced, then we can't put Nova in S tier. It's not unanimous. Herman and I have an S, you have an A, but not unanimous. Therefore, it's still A. So we'll just have to live with that. Raynor, where do we have him?
Raynor is I used P3 battle cruisers, later on mineral dump vultures, spider mines.
Ooh.
And yeah, battle cruisers, if
That's
they're about to
expensive.
nuke you, you teleport away and you
Yes.
Yamato everything.
All
and
right.
you have, with the range upgrade, you have like what, 7 range? So it's not a lot, but you're close enough to the edge and you just Yamato everything. You have a group of SCVs in the center to repair whatever battle cruisers are injured, and you don't have to, you just control click battle cruisers and use number 1 or something. And then like if you want, you have some in the middle, like you deselect them to let them repair and then use the rest of them. And you have a Hyperion for for the later ones, you have Hyperion for like every train and then kill most of the enemies. As long as Hyperion doesn't get killed by a lava burst, which can happen.
Yes, it has happened before to me. Letter.
B.
All that for a B. How about you, Herman?
Not that strong. He's still slow.
Yeah.
Yeah, he isn't that strong. I mean, for
I
not
just
for
remember the
Twotuuu.
time you said all that for a B when Sticksbender was explaining. And it's just funny
Yes.
that you did the same thing pretty much. Herman, how about you?
Yeah, Raynor isn't that strong. Like early game, like you need to use your tower well. Let's say if you lose your Hyperion for some reason, you probably you probably just can't fight an attack wave, like the
Yeah.
6-minute attack wave. Like if you don't have your Hyperion, if your Hyperion just die to like lava burst, which happens for me, it's like sometimes, yeah. Because actually, Raynor needs a lot of macro. So when I summon my Hyperion, I just like shift click move,
Yeah, that's
and
what I
then
do.
I just back to my base and like build command centers or build starport.
And then when you
Then
look back,
I go.
it's
then I
gone.
just go back. Yeah, it's gone. Yeah, yeah, it happened. Yeah, it happened.
Yeah.
So you want to watch your tower well in early game and just mass battle cruiser and spider mines. Spider mines against ground unit is really good. Yeah, but offer B. Yeah, he isn't that strong. Yeah.
Alright, I also had Raynor in B, so it's unanimous. Therefore, it's B. Stetboy, where do we have him?
For a stat boy, well, your links doesn't really care about nuke. Yeah, and if you want DPS against trains, you can just use lurkers. So if your nuke is on your head of lurker, it's on the head of lurkers, you can just what's that ability called? Like
Tunnel
you
of,
just
Tunnel
like,
of
move-
Terror. The burrow
Yeah,
charge. The Tunnel of
Yeah,
Terror.
well, it's moving, it's invincible, it's invulnerable, so it won't be damaged by nuke.
Oh,
if you're
really?
afraid
I
of
didn't
that.
know. I didn't know
Yeah.
about that part where they're invulnerable while moving. That's really cool.
Like usually you will think the prerequisite of casting that ability is to burrow, but actually not. You don't need to burrow it. You can use
Yeah.
that ability.
You can use that while they're unburrowed. I actually know that
Yeah,
part.
Yes. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and let's say if you don't trust your micros, you don't want to use lurkers. Well, you can use
Mecha Battle
Lord.
Carrier Lords. Yes.
Yeah, it's just like links plus lurkers or links plus brute lord, and you use your super Gary for every attack wave. Like 2 Igor attack wave should be go. Yeah.
All right, letter.
I think that we should be S tier. Yeah.
Okay. How about you, Twotuuu?
Yeah, nothing to add. He
Ooh.
doesn't care about the mutators. The only thing is I would save the Gary zone in case you're like the satellites near you have died and there's a lava burst near you, so you can like get out.
All right, that's really cool. I actually had Stetboy in A because his units are mostly ground and you do have to walk through it. But you guys both said S, so let's have him in S. Stukov, where do I have him?
Stukov. He's like probably second worst, I would say.
Second worst.
He has Diamondbacks, but
18 range siege tanks.
Yeah, but I'm not finished. So if they have air units, you're gonna have to go on the. If your tanks are at the edge, you're gonna have to go down and like hold them down before you can shoot them.
All right.
So during that time, might be lava bursts there. There might be fire, and so it's kind of risky against any like air units. Carriers, when they explode, like their interceptors will also burn on the ground, which sucks. So like against a ground comp, you'll do fine. Like you have tanks plus a few Diamondbacks, but against some air comps, like you're gonna have to you have to risk your lives to like pull them down so that you can kill them. Of course, you can steal some with Alexander, which is good, but Alexander also dies to lava burst if you're not careful.
Yes.
So yeah, I put him in B, but
can you just
it might be C.
Can you just have bunkers protect your siege tanks?
They're gonna get nuked. Well,
I mean, if they're all in the high ground area, just wait for Amon to come to you. Your siege tanks with 18 range.
Probably shoot further. Like carriers, they just shoot your.
Oh, you're saying that the carriers will just out. Yeah, I get it. So and there's one composition in particular. It's the one, I think it's called Hope of the Kalai. They have oracles, lots and lots of oracles. They might just delete everything.
Yeah.
All right, I get it. So both of you have them in B.
I think so. Yeah, we're talking about P1 here. So,
yeah.
If you really want like something to shoot up, you can also use queens. Yeah,
queens.
You can also use queens. Yeah. I don't really trust liberators against nuke. So it's like there are carriers like below the high ground, and you use your liberator to attack them. Then there's a nuke come down. So do you run away or still attack?
I don't think there's enough gas to go for both queens and siege tanks.
That makes sense. So.
Oh well. All right. So B.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, B tier.
Swann, where do we have him?
Swann, it's kind of like Karax. Like you just build your stacked defense on the high ground, and then you can either use siege tank or raid. Like both are fine.
All right.
Siege tank, they're in the safe zone, so you don't need to worry about it. But siege tank doesn't shoot up. Wraith, they can move, but you need it has shorter range, so you need to go closer to the train, and you need to watch your Wraith well. But your Wraith has a lot of move speed. It's cloaked, so it should not be a problem. And I still remember one time I didn't watch my army, and my Wraith got nuked, but like half of my Wraith
survived.
Are alive because of the
upgrade, evasive thing.
Evade ability, yeah. Yeah. So I think Swann and A tier for this week.
All right. How about you, Twotuuu?
I don't know if like putting blaster abilities at the edge enough damage.
If you put the damage against what, the trains?
Yeah.
You're
gonna need tanks too.
You'd have wraiths against the trains. Wraiths do a lot of damage against the trains.
I use both tanks and wraiths and static defense, so all three actually.
Oh, nice.
But so it's like if they have air though, you'll need like missile turrets near the
yeah.
I don't know, maybe it's just my luck, but like it seems like four spaces around the edge, that stuff gets nuked. So I try not to put anything there. Even if I don't put static D, I don't put tanks there because I keep getting nuked there. So I try not to put anything too close to the edge. With enough wraiths, I use P1, so like attack waves, they clump up and they'll just all get slowed and then die to wraiths. But yeah, wraith micro is a lot of work.
I probably won't recommend P1 here because your what's that called? Concentrated beam like has a lot of damage to the trains. Actually, it can kill the first train like just one shot. Yeah.
Really? Using concentrated beam?
Yeah, concentrated beam can kill the first train in one shot. You just need to cast it in the correct time.
That's incredible. All right. Yeah. So
maybe I should use
letter.
T0. I put him in B.
Yeah. How about? Herman said B, right?
He's
I
A.
said A.
Oh,
yeah, I
Herman
said
said A.
tier.
Twotuuu said B. What do you think, Herman?
Well, I'm actually considering about P2, but not P0 because like your turret had like longer range, but it's like only one range, so I don't know. And you have more attack speed for your turrets.
I guess you do have concentrated beam for every train. Well, at
Yeah,
least at
it's
the doubles.
3 minute cooldown. So I definitely have like concentrated beam for all the trains and also the pulse cannon. Pulse cannon, yeah.
For double trains.
Yes. Well, I just think like he is kind of like Karax, but he doesn't have the big chrono, so that's the difference. So I just put him in A tier.
So
Yeah.
a slightly worse Karax, and according to
Yeah.
Herman, slightly worse Karax. According to Twotuuu, significantly worse Karax.
Yeah.
I think the chrono is such a huge deal, though. It's
Yeah, because it's like DPS.
Unity barrier too.
Unity barrier also. Yeah, that's true. That's why Karax's static defense can at least tank a nuke. Swann's defense can't.
So in my mind, because of the auto repair, like you want like if you put your turrets along the edge of the high ground, it won't be in the center. It's like in the edge of nuke. So in the edge of nuke, it's like 200 damage, and it will just be auto repaired to half life. But there's a problem. It's like while you are fighting against an enemy and you get like a nuke, it's like 200 damage, but maybe your turret will die. Yeah, that makes sense. And tanks, I think I would recommend you put some Hercules on your tanks. If you're worried about you get nuke.
All right, so Hercules with tanks that'll work too. I just thought that having the factories to provide vision for the laser drill for all the waves and escorts would free up the wraiths to just focus on the trains, and that will do it for me. But does that not work, or is it harder than that? Is the laser with splash not enough for the escorts and the attack waves?
I'm not sure about that. I didn't use P1 for this map. I don't think I used P1 ever for this map.
All right. Okay, so it's between A and B. Is Swann better than all of Artanis, Horner, Kerrigan, Raynor, and Stukov? Is he better than all of them?
I would say yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is he better than any of Alarak, Phoenix, or Nova?
Not really. No.
Not really.
So he's like
No.
an in-between guy at this point, so between A and B. So I guess the debate is whether he's closer to the A guys, or closer to the B guys. I guess we can put him in B for now and discuss whether he deserves a promotion later on. We can settle on that for now.
Yeah.
Cool. Tychus, where do we have him?
So generally, Tychus versus going nuclear. It's like if you use Lone Wolf, you're gonna have to like pay attention to 2 screens or more to maximize your damage. So I don't like using P2. I use P1, and with P1, you just focus on 1 screen, and your macro is extremely simple once everything's set up.
Yeah.
So macro-wise, everything is fine. You have medevacs to pull him out. The problem is on this map, if you don't get Sam, or if he dies somehow because he's fragile, you don't do much damage to the train. So you definitely need Sam, and he needs to stay alive.
He
So
needs Sam body.
So just
Not just anybody.
because of that, I put him in A.
He needs Sam 1. How about you, Herman?
Yeah, Sam is definitely like a huge DPS against train. Yeah, I think A tier is fine. Just want to talk about like Lone Wolf against Nuke. So Nuke deals like 750 damage to like the center, and Lone Wolf have like 50% damage reduction. So even if you don't look at your Tychus, it can still tank 2 center Nuke. Yes, I just want to point out, you don't have to use Lone Wolf. I just want to say
that's crazy.
And another mutator is called Lava Burst.
Oh, that one is painful.
Because all of the units are heroic, so it will die in like a little bit more than 4 seconds. So it's like 4.5 seconds if you don't look at it. Because when your unit get burned, it won't chase, it won't go away, run away. Like if you get Lava Burst.
Yeah.
Not like Nuke. Like if you get nuked, you will run a little bit further. But if you get Lava Burst, you just stay there and wait to die. Yeah.
You don't even have to wait that long. 4 seconds is basically basically an instant,
Yeah,
especially
it's
in
like 4
Blizzard
seconds.
time.
Oh.
Yeah.
But if you're using Lone Wolf, it's 8 seconds. Yeah, it's a lot of speed. Yes, just want to point out you don't have to use.
I don't. I
Yeah.
think that's an even bigger. I think that's an even bigger issue than Nova's Liberators, personally. But where do you have him after all that?
I definitely put him in A because I use Lone Wolf. Definitely.
Okay,
I
you
use
still
Lone
have
Wolf.
him in A. Okay.
There is a trick for Lone Wolf. Because your Sam, like all of your abilities deals bonus damage if you're using Lone Wolf. And for the first double train, it's like 14 minutes. You can run in your Sam like just run in your Sam, like use your cloak, super cloak ability, run into the trains, and you have 3 charges, and use 3 charges on the train. You need to have the damage gear for Sam, and all five outlaws be ready, and then you can just kill a train, and
Wow.
then you can just kill a train because the first double train, the HP is lower than 7,500, so that's like 3 of your
So
boss.
7,500 damage to kill the first set of double trains.
The first double train, so that you don't have to fight at least one escort. And for the other train, you just use Odin.
All right, that's really cool. Okay, so both of you had him in A, so let's have him in A. I actually had him in A also, but for a different reason.
Just watch out of Nuke and the Lava Burst. If you're playing Tychus, yeah.
All right, Vorazun, where do we have him?
I actually recommend to use Void Rays for this one. Void Rays because they are air unit and they have further range while they're attacking. And Twotuuu has a guide for time swap on this map. So watch his guide and plan your top bar well. If the enemy are like immortals or reavers, your Void Rays just shoot them for free. But if they're like Vipers or something, do splash damage to air unit, you want to watch out for your Void Rays. So you need to use some Black Hole and target fire the Vipers while dodging the nukes. But I don't think that's a really big issue. Yeah. So just because of the time stop stuff, I think I put Vorazun in A tier.
A tier. Okay. How about you, Twotuuu?
I was gonna say once I studied and learned like these timings, I don't even memorize them. I just have it on a sheet on the screen on my second monitor. I just look at it. It's like 5:25, 9:50, 15:15, 21:30 or something. Basically, if you time stop exactly at that time, whether you have extra shadow guards or not, whether it's P3 or not, the escorts won't come. So the escorts will not come with that guide. There will be no escorts for the first train, the double trains, and the other double train, which are the hard ones. So you focus completely on just whacking an unguarded train, and that's extremely easy. I don't like Void Rays just because they only have 1 life, whereas with Shadow Guards and Dark Templar, they have 2. In case you get nuked or burned, you still can have a second shot. So yeah, I put Vorazun in A.
Actually, if you put Dark Pylon, because you just put your Void Rays so like at the high ground, so you can actually use your Dark Pylon to make them cloaked, so that it will have a second life. Yeah.
I wonder whether we should put an asterisk on Vorazun's A, just because the time stop thing seems like it's on level of the Abathur abduct evacuation ship thing on minor evac, and even the void stasis on this same map for Vorazun. The train timing seems very specific. Well, not very specific that to the last second, but you need to know what you're doing in order to pull that off consistently. So I'm wondering if it's fair to give Vorazun an A on the basis of that bug.
Execution-wise, it's super easy.
So it's still fair, you think? You said to know.
Yeah, because if you can kill the train before it comes out in 40 seconds, the escort won't come at all. Yeah, it's just a mechanic.
All right.
Yeah, it's just a mechanic.
Both of you have him in A. I had him in B. Yeah. But both of you had him in A, so let's have him in A. Zagara, where do we have him?
She doesn't have ESOs, but she has the next best thing. 25 range. I think it's 25 range. Bio launchers they hit so you can hit the top track, the bottom track, and you put some on the right side. So the bottom train you can use more bio launchers, and then you don't have to put the bio launchers at the edge so that they don't get attacked by like air units. You just put them closer to middle, maybe put some spores to draw aggro away from the bio launchers. And then
Yeah.
Zagara herself, she's just on the high ground, just waiting with circlings that shred armor, which is pretty good.
cheap.
I put her in B.
Ooh, all that for a B. How about you, Herman?
Well, I think maybe she is like top of B. I think she is like close to Swann. Yeah,
Close to
close. Like
Swann.
these two are pretty same, I think.
All right, so like a B plus.
Yeah. Yes. It's just like because bio launchers shoot up, and you just need something
B for bio
to
launchers.
hold it. Yeah, something to hold it to stall the enemy, and then you use your bio launcher to snipe them. Yeah. And yeah, you have like 25 range, so you can. Yeah, I don't know if it's like better than Swann because like Swann's like turrets only have like 13, I think, or 11. It's like for P2 is like 13. But your ESOs has like 25, right? So
75.
I don't know if it's like better than I don't know if that's better than Swann actually.
Oh, bio
And-
launchers have
and-
way more range. Bio launchers have
Yeah, and
25.
Billy turret doesn't shoot up, and it doesn't deal AoE damage, and your ESO did. So
All right, so
I think maybe she can be like above Swann.
Above
so,
Swann?
but I'm not sure if it's
we'll
E++.
discuss we'll discuss
Yeah.
that later. We just need to know whether she's in B. That's for a later part.
Yeah.
All right.
Mhm.
Zeratul, where do we have him?
Zeratul. You can first be cannon is good, or you can also be
Void
like
Templar is good.
ambusher is good. Yeah,
Ambusher is
ambusher
good.
is good because you have 3 charges of blink. So you should be able to dodge the nuke at least. You probably cannot dodge the lava
fire.
burst
Yeah,
well,
the
but
lava.
your blink is an auto cast ability, so it will run away. I mean blink away if you stand on the fire for like 1 second. Yeah, it will blink away. So not
Auto
like
blink.
other.
Yeah. So later?
Well, I think he is like he's like an A tier, not S, because you don't have something that shoot really far away. You still need to go
Monolith.
to you still need to go out and kill the train, not like
True.
other S tier. Yeah.
How about you, Twotuuu?
Yeah.
Okay. What happened?
Yeah, how about you, Twotuuu?
Okay. So you can trap the artifact because it's OE, which means your units will get like 10 fragments by the end of the game, by the later trains. I used Void Templar because they just like blink through trains and they
Yes.
deal tons of damage.
Several tons of damage.
Yeah, I would say A is fine.
All right.
Yes.
Nice. Unanimous A. All right. Now, with the magic of editing, Arcturus is now double S. Hooray! So, who's top of A between Dehaka, Karax, and Stetboy?
It's top
Top
of
of S.
S, right?
Yeah, top of
Yeah.
S.
I think
Karax, right?
Stetmann.
Oh, you think Stetboy's top of A or top of S?
Just like
Sorry.
you play normally, you don't worry about nukes. You don't worry about the mutators at all, except occasional lava bursts, which you'll Gary zone out of there.
All right. How about you, Herman?
makes sense. Yes,
Who's-
it makes sense.
So Stetboy's
Yes,
top of
Stetboy's
S.
would be top.
All right. And then who's better between Karax and Dehaka?
I would say Karax, because like if you're Dehaka, if you're using Mutalist, you still need to move out, and if you move out, you need to be really cautious with nukes. But Karax, if you put monoliths like on the high ground, well, if they get nuke, you cannot do anything. But you have unity barrier for your structures, and also for your ally structures. So.
Yeah, you buff your ally also, just by being Karax. So yeah, I'm okay with Karax being second in S. All right, how about you, Twotuuu?
I just don't think being immobile is like a great idea.
Why?
But on this
Arcturus is
map,
fine
it's
with it.
fine. If
No, 'cause, like-
if the map is like Modern Warfare or Missed Opportunity, it's a huge problem. But for this one, I don't think it's a big problem.
You also gotta hope your ally doesn't block your buildings.
Who would
Which is
Just
block?
attack the building there.
Arcturus has the same problem, but he's still in double S.
Yeah. Except that you
Just
start building your stuff much sooner. Some guy thinks, oh, I'm building my spore crawlers here, and then like, oh, okay, but
shit.
I want to put my fat monoliths here.
I just killed blocking sport crawler if it's just a sport
Also,
crawler
I
block.
guess for the top track, I'm more concerned about the top track because there's not enough like cover.
You can
So
build.
if you're not the guy,
So
at
you
the-
just use the
the
top
right
bar
picture.
only. Just use your solar
You
lens
can
on
also
the top.
add some monoliths on the expansion area.
the right side. You also, I guess, when it turns, like it comes down towards the main around that curve.
Yeah, around
You
that
can
curve.
put some monoliths there for backup, but I guess that's probably not necessary. But it's an option if it's not blocked by supply depots that'll get nuked.
So you
Oh.
think Dehaka is still slightly better than Karax?
I just don't think being unable to chase the trains is
You use
not
space
great.
lasers. You use space lasers. Just the fiery space laser thing.
Yeah, I don't think because you don't have unity barrier on the observers. So if you're not good or like if they get nuked or you're not sure or you weren't paying attention and I need to make an observer now to go chase, it might be a little late. The thing is you don't want to you probably won't get to that point most of the time, but if you're somehow not on top of killing the waves before like they start entering the monolith range, then you're gonna spend time killing the enemies instead of hitting the train, then the train will run past you.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
Even if you don't have an observer to spot the train, you can still chase it with a sentinel and then use space lasers to actually damage the train.
Do you really think P1 people build anything except buildings?
Well, we're not talking about regular people. We can still talk about
The commander.
the option. Yeah, the commander. The options.
Yeah, I would say
But usually
by the time they
you
consider
have
sentinels,
enough,
it's too late.
But if they have
You have
sentinels,
enough.
it's too late. They can warp them in, right?
Like I really think like people don't consider using. Of course, if you know what you're doing, you're not gonna run to this problem. But then if you're suddenly thinking, oh no, it's getting away, I will look for my observer.
Well,
my observer's not here.
Okay,
I have an
in the
ETS
interest
sentinel.
in the interest of fairness, if we assume for Vorazun's ranking that you know what you're doing, we should probably also assume for Karax's ranking that we know what we're doing. We can't assume that for Vorazun we know the timings, but suddenly for Karax we don't know how to build sentinels. I don't think that's fair.
I don't think people build sentinels if they're not
if
P2.
they're using P1.
It's not that they don't build sentinels. It's that they don't build sentinels when they're using P1.
They probably won't have
And
the warp
It's,
gate
it's also a plan C. It's not even a plan B. The chasing is plan B is an observer, and if like that dies, then you use a sentinel. But
Right? We're going to.
can you really chase with a sentinel?
I'm not saying.
Because
Wait.
they're gonna be units in the way. You need like several sentinels to chase.
Wait. In order to get to Plan C, you must have not had your monoliths and static defense kill the escorts with the train. How bad would your target have to be for that to happen?
Do you really think people do you target fire with monoliths?
No,
or do you just
I'm
let
saying,
them run?
I'm saying if you activate the chrono boost on
No,
the
not chrono boost. Chrono boost, when you activate chrono boost, everything's dead. I'm talking about ones where there's no chrono boost because you don't have that every
Like the
train.
6th train and the 9th train.
All right.
Because we won't have it there. Fortunately, they're all in the mid track. Like the
Yes,
you will
that's
have
true.
you will have more monoliths there. So maybe
That's
the
true.
third train is
The
some
third
problem.
train.
But you can just let it pass. Like you can pass it. Like you can pass with one train. It's fine. You won't lose
Oh, that's
the game.
true. You
Yeah.
can let a train pass, and you'd have
Yeah.
another. Yeah, that's true. You can let a train pass, even.
Yeah,
So,
usually if I play Karax on this map solo something, I will leave the second train or the third train away. Yeah, because like I need some I need time to
plus, you can just kill the
Landmine.
first two trains using only soil lance, right? If you get the
first train
fire upgrade in time.
I will use purifier beam plus
Purifier beam.
plus some orbital strike. Yeah.
I think it'll be enough. I think
Yeah.
I think Karax, like, we can put them, like, we can give him a tie, or if he's not that much better, they're still both S. Just use who you prefer using. If Karax is not clearly superior to Dehaka, I like Dehaka too. Dehaka's really strong. I just think Karax is ever so
Yeah.
slightly higher. But if we can't agree on who's higher, we could call it a tie. Alphabetically, Dehaka's ahead, so let's have Dehaka ahead. But it's a tie.
But P1 Karax start with A, so okay, let's move on. Yeah, let's move on.
All right.
It's a tie.
Yeah, let's call it a tie. For A, who is the best in A? I think Nova, right?
Nova.
It has to be Nova.
Nova.
Yeah.
Nova.
Yeah, she was a candidate for S.
She was a
so
candidate for
has to be-
S. I think Alarak actually has a strong case for second in A. Those Ratwalkers shoot really far. And you have a High Lord that can just push the enemies away from your forces so that they don't have to stand the fire.
Alarak can also charge up to high ground, right?
Yes, he can. So what, do we have Alarak second in A?
I feel like
Or
Phoenix is easier.
Phoenix
like,
is
you
easier?
Just throw bodies.
yeah, I'm okay
You
with
don't
that.
worry. You don't worry about that.
I'm
at
also
all.
okay
You
with Phoenix being
Yeah.
second in A. So I have Phoenix and then Alarak.
Yeah, Phoenix, Alarak, then Vorazun. If you know the
Vorazun?
timing, yeah. If you know the timing, it's the next one. But if you don't know the timing,
It's not even a
you
secret.
probably-
It's just like you write down the numbers, put it on a piece of paper next to you, and when you see this number, you press time stop, and then that's it. You don't even have to, because when you time stop, you're not going to move your shadow guards anywhere since the train's not there yet. The whole point of the time stop is so that the escorts don't come with you.
yes.
Jesus, put an asterisk on Vorazun's face. Something about having to write down timings. I don't know. I'm okay with A, and even that position in A. Just something about the having to write down the timings makes me think. Yeah, put an asterisk
Even
on
if
that
you
A.
even if you don't bug the escorts, you're still gonna kill that like really badly
Yeah, I
because
know.
you still have to.
I know. I just want to put an asterisk on Vorazun's face because not because I don't like her face. I think she has a very nice face, but just there's some notes that you have to know certain timings and a certain bug to exploit that to put Vorazun that high in A. So yeah, put an asterisk, Zeus. Thank you. Anyway, so who's better, Tychus or Zeratul?
I'm not sure. I think
Another tie? I'm okay
I
with another
think-
tie.
I think Zeratul's better.
Zeratul's
think-
better?
So Zeratul have Abathur of Essence, so it provides like 40 damage reduction. So if you get hit by Edge of Nuke, your army probably will leave. Yeah. Yeah.
They can tank a
And you can
nuke?
also
Oh, that's big.
not really tanking nuke, but tanking like the edge of the nuke.
All right,
yeah.
all right, fair. So
Yeah, and you can also give your allies some buff to strengthen the attack speed.
that's true. So who's better, Zeratul or Tychus?
I think Zeratul should be
I
better.
think so. How about you two?
Zeratul's better.
All right, there we go.
Yeah.
So for A, we have Nova, Phoenix, Alarak, Vorazun, Zeratul, then Tychus. For B, do we have Swann or Zagara? I think Zagara's
I
slightly
got both
easier.
bonuses for Zagara. I got both bonuses. I don't
So
know if that
we-
matters.
We put Zagara top of B, then Swann.
Yeah.
All right, so who's next? Kerrigan? Kerrigan.
Kerrigan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mobilization wave good. And then
Then Artanis, right? You have Tempest and the
shield,
Gargons.
shield overcharge. Yeah, I can see that. I can see Artanis being next. And then Raynor.
And for Artanis, you can just do fast expand. Yeah.
True. All right. So Artanis and then Raynor, then Han and Horner, then Stukov.
Is Han Horner Raynor?
You think Han and Horner is better? I can't tell you.
But
I can't.
Honor has if you're using P2, you have the same problem with Nova. If you lose your army, you cannot back up. Yeah.
All right. So it's
It-
Raynor. Oh yeah. So who's better, Raynor or Han and Horner? So according to Herman, it's
Han
Raynor.
and Horner has a more stable early game
All right.
because you got 2 call downs for the first 2 trains.
So we got Han and Horner, then Raynor. Oh, according to Twotuuu, Han and Horner's better. According to Herman, Raynor's better. I'll just call it a tie. They're both close at the bottom, and they're both B, so you'll be fine with either one. Just use who you're more comfortable with. Then Stukov,
Right,
bottom
yeah,
of B. Then Abathur at C, top of
Abathur.
C. There we go.
Only B.
All right, that's gonna be the trailers for this week, guys. Watch Twotuuu and Herman's channels. I will link them down below, and I will see you guys next time.